Economy class didn't exist before 1950s, and all passengers were treated to a luxury in-flight experience. Meals, complimentary magazines, and drinks were provided, and flight attendants would even recline the seats of dozing travelers. It wasn't uncommon for planes to have bars on board, giving travelers a chance to relax with drink. Some planes even had pianos. Today, if you want this kind of luxury, you need to buy your way into the first class cabin, or you need to reserve one chartered aircraft for yourself. Passengers could visit the cockpit and sometimes sit up front for takeoff and landing. This policy still differs from airlines to airlines, but cockpit security was seriously notched up following the attacks of 9/11. Today, for the most part, cockpit doors are firmly closed to the public and even cabin crew. It was perfectly acceptable to smoke cigarettes on planes, and cabins were often divided into smoking and non-smoking sections. British Airways began a trial ban on smoking during flights in 1990 with Virgin and United Airlines. It wasn't until the late 1990s that smoking on all flights was banned. Most of today's plane passengers dress for comfort, just like t-shirt and jeans. Back in time, passengers used to dress to impress. Men would sport a suit and tie, and women with their finest frock. It happened that passengers were not accepted by airlines to board the flight if they were deemed underdressed. Those days, we had only air hostesses, and all advertise for air hostesses used to specify that applicants should be women, and many included stipulations on height, weight, age, and relationship status. The Stewardesses for Women Rights Group was formed in 1972 to help combat inequality, but the gender-neutral term flight attendant. But it didn't come into place until 1988. In the 1950s, passengers in sleeper cabins on a DC-6 aircraft were served an in-flight breakfast in bed. On most flights, a sit-down dinner was part of the experience. Flyers were also spoiled with lavish spread including caviar served up by the chef himself. Menus often included extravagant dishes like steak, and it was not uncommon for the meat to curved seat side. British Airways and KLM Royal Dutch Airlines were just a couple of airlines to offer this personal service. Even lobster was on the menu of some of the airlines like Scandinavian Airlines. Moving into 1980s, airline dining experience became little less glamorous, as passengers ate out of trays that look more like the ones modern flyers are used to. Nowadays, you will usually be sat elbow to elbow with the person next to you. It wasn't always like this. Aisles used to be wider, there was more legroom, and overhead storage meant the ceiling felt little higher. In the 1970s, the Boeing 747 even had 2 decks. Life aboard a 747 used to be so much more relaxed and roomy. Just look at the seats and how they are laid out, with only 8 seats across the entire width of the plane. Today, there are 12, with 6 in the middle and 3 on each side. You can see big aisle there. Imagine not having to hit every passenger with your bags on your way to your seat. In today's air travel, one of the biggest advantages is in-flight entertainment. In 1925, silent movie The Lost World became one of the first blockbusters to be shown in the air. It involved a whole lot of equipment, and passengers had to crane their necks to watch a single screen. But not all airlines had this movie screen service. Passengers could spend their time playing chess, cards, or reading books, magazines, and newspaper. Spacious sleepers berth used to be common back in time. United's historic mainliner sleeper planes, which date back to the 1930s, were a vacation in themselves. They offered 6.5 feet long twin beds and a separate changing room for men and women to prepare for a good night's sleep. Later, Planes featured overhead sleeping berths and also come up with reclinable seats.